Hi everyone, it's Vanessa. I'm here today to talk about this recent author talk that I went to at my local library with Dr. Ibram X. Kendi, the author of Stamped from the Beginning, The Definitive History of Racist Ideas in America. Dr. Kendi's book, as you can imagine, traces racist ideas in the past around 600 years in America. I gathered that from the about 50 pages I read of this book before I had to give it back to the library because it was only on a 7-day loan because there's too many people requesting it. So I probably won't get back to this book for a few more months until the demand for it goes down a little bit. A book a lot of people in my community are very, very excited for, not just because of what is being presented in the book, but also because this is a local author from our local university, and we are very proud of that, especially him winning the National Book Award for Nonfiction. In this talk, he outlined his main arguments and findings after doing all of his scholarly work and research. So I'll go through some of those main arguments that you can basically see in the first few pages of the book, as well as some really wise and persuasive thoughts he had on current events. So Dr. Kendi argues that our conception of racism is that racism comes from ignorance and hate. We think that these people are just misguided, they are hateful, they just don't know, and that from these racist ideas and racist people come racist policies, like slavery, Jim Crow, and today mass incarceration. He himself said that this is what I thought before I actually did the research, but once he did the research, he found that these ideas are in place because the people who are spouting these ideas have economic, political, and cultural benefits. These ideas are in place so they can allow these racist policies to exist in our society. Dr. Kendi also focused on how we can dismantle these ideas and have a more just society. He basically said, being an anti-racist does not mean you are selfless. It does not mean you are altruistic. Being an anti-racist is better for you because no groups will be free of racism until Black people are free of racism. I won't be free of the things that hold me back until Black people are free from the things that hold them back. So it is in my intellectual self-interest and in the intellectual self-interest of pretty much everybody who faces any kind of oppression. The only group, Dr. Kendi says, that is really being altruistic or selfless in the situation are white Anglo-Saxon Protestant hetero, mostly northern men. Northern men. It is until we fix these disparities that we can all be free. Last but not least, he left us with some really wise and interesting arguments, persuasive arguments, to current events when we were doing the question and answer session. A lot of people were asking really interesting questions. So some things he said, for example, when he started talking about mass incarceration and, quote, violent Black neighborhoods, what he said is that there's no violent Black neighborhood. There's a violent unemployed neighborhood. Said it's easier to send 1,000 police officers into a neighborhood and create this law and order than it is to create 1,000 jobs for these people. At real Donald Trump. When he was being asked about Confederate symbols in our town and in America in general, he had a really interesting take on it. He said a lot of people argue that these Confederate statues and symbols are still in our society because we want to remember the history. And he said, yeah, that's all good and well, the history is very important, but having these symbols out there is only asked of Black people. He said, imagine having a university that a lot of Jewish students go to and having something there named for Hitler. Imagine having somebody who was trying to impose anti-Irish policy, especially during the 1800s when Irish people were looked at very down upon in our society. Imagine having one of those people that was influencing policy that was anti-Irish, having that person's name be at the University of Notre Dame. We don't expect Jewish people, we don't expect Catholics and Irish Americans to be okay with having someone who inflicted so much pain on their people because of who they are have a building named after them. So why is it that Black people are not only supposed to accept these symbols in their society because of the history, but they are expected to embrace these symbols. So I thought those are really interesting arguments, especially when talking about Confederate symbols, and that's something that's been in the news. And the last thing he talked about during the Q&A session that I thought was really interesting was voter suppression, current attempts to suppress votes. So he argues in his book that the Voting Rights Act is the most successful anti-racist policy that the US has ever enacted. And this is because they are more focused on the outcome than they were in the intention when they were writing this law. And he said, you know, this goes back right to where we are right now. They create racist ideas to maintain the self-interest, right? That's his whole argument. To kind of be like, yep, our argument is sound, here's why. In our current time, voter ID laws and all of that kind of voter suppression action, it's strategic. It's meant to suppress votes because the votes that they are trying to suppress are the ones that want to get them out of office, right? He implemented the argument of his book to the specific time that we are in right now. So I thought that was very interesting as well. Overall, I had a really good time there. I felt like just the environment there got me fired up and made me feel good. Seeing so many different kinds of faces there made me feel all that more sure that this book is very important and that what he is arguing is very important. So definitely I need to finish reading this book, the other 450 pages or so I didn't get to read before I had to return it. I hope that you enjoyed me telling you some of the things he talked about, opened up my way of thinking, and gave me more persuasive arguments to use in the future. Thanks so much for watching my video. I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.